I need help.
You've reached Jim Cox. Due to robocalls, I no longer answer this line. Please leave a short message or send an email to privatejudge@yahoo.com. privatejudge@yahoo.com. Thank you.
This is Susan Bassey, and as we closed out the last decade, I knew the First Amendment was in more trouble than it had ever been in my lifetime. And while I don't typically like to ask for help, I knew that I was going to need some help in order to reverse course on the damage that had been done. But I barely needed to ask, because everybody else knew we were in trouble too, and so we got right to work. And while I wasn't quite sure how we were going to do it, when I saw this view on the last day of that decade, I knew that we were going to do it with transparency and accountability, and by doing it differently than we've done it in the last 50 years. And on January 1st, 2020, I got right to work, and I posted this video, and I told you a little bit about my family law attorney, Robert J. Tennant. What I didn't tell you was that on Christmas, Bob Tennant's appendix ruptured, and that's a medical emergency when you're over 80 years old. I couldn't tell you because we hadn't notified all the other attorneys and the judges in our case, and when we did, we weren't surprised that they weren't very kind. In fact, they didn't believe him, and we've had to produce a doctor's note. Bob Tennant is perhaps the most honest and ethical attorney you will ever find. He has defended me not only in my divorce, but he has defended me with my First Amendment rights. At one time, I didn't want to stand for a judge who I didn't respect in the courthouse, and Bob Tennant said to me that he thought that was like taking a Kaepernick. What Bob Tennant didn't say was that I would pay a huge price for exercising my First Amendment rights, and that he would pay that price as well. So while we continue to wait for his attorney fee motions to be ruled on, and my child support to be paid that's been owed to me since 2015, Bob Tennant will focus on his recovery, and I will continue doing my work and making sure that we restore our First Amendment rights. And on January 2nd, 2020, mainstream media posted this video that was filmed by the San Mateo County Sheriff's Department. The video virtually went viral, and mainstream media was rather shocked at how popular it was. For those of us who've been on YouTube for a while, we weren't so shocked. And many of you reached out to me to find out what Jeff Rosen thought. And I'm sure Jeff Rosen, the Santa Clara County District Attorney, and Harvard-educated lawyer Ward Penfold was hoping that it was me in that car.
Hey! Don't let them shoot those girls! This is too much. They got guns pointing at them. These women are armed, Hal. This is standard. Now calm down. These boys know what they're doing.
And on January 3rd, 2020, my badass criminal defense attorney served a subpoena on Stanford Law professor Michele Dauber, using records I had obtained through a California public records request that showed Michele Dauber conspired with members of the district attorney's office to convict a Stanford University student athlete of rape and to recall a judge. Because you see, Stanford Law professor Michele Dauber violated the First Amendment rights of a number of protesters who opposed her political position, and she used her power and influence to violate those First Amendment rights, including the rights of one of the moms that I know from Los Gatos.
Well, I was shocked when I saw that Judge Persky was being disbarred, basically. I don't know how you say it.
Well, he did it involuntarily. He was recalled first.
Yes, recalled. Because in my experience, I went through a litigious divorce from 2008 through 2012, all the way until he left the family court to move to criminal. And he was one of the most sensible, wonderful judges that I could have hoped to have. I mean, I am a single mom, I am an immigrant, I have no family here, I have a daughter, and he defended me. He did not let my husband do anything bad to me. He was a wonderful judge. I put my hand on fire for Judge Persky, and I think what they did to him is a sham.
What's your birthday?
My birthday is
Take your hat off.
Oh, my birthday is going to occur whenever you tell me it will. It hasn't occurred yet.
I need you to stop fucking around and give me your birthday, or I'm gonna take you to jail. You're about to get just a citation, ask to leave the library, but if you keep this up, I'm gonna book you in jail. Do you understand? Do you have understanding? I need you to stop fucking around and give me your birthday, or I'm gonna take you to jail.
I just want you to read the definition out loud for me.
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
Fuck. Vulgar slang versus fucked. Fucking fucks. To have sexual intercourse with, to take advantage of, betray or cheat, victimize, used in the imperative as a signal of angry dismissal, to engage in sexual intercourse, to act wastefully or foolishly, to interfere, meddle, often used with, an act of, as a noun, an act of sexual intercourse, a partner in sexual intercourse, despised person, used as an intensive, used to express extreme displeasure. Phrasal verbs. Fuck off. Used in the imperative as a signal of angry dismissal. To spend time idly. To masturbate. Fuck over. To treat unfairly. Take advantage of. Fuck up. To bungle. To act carelessly, foolishly, or incorrectly. Intoxicated, but deciphered from the coded form. We got fucker, fucking, do I go in further in each one?
Yep. Keep going. Yeah. Keep going.
Okay. Fucker, a depressed person, one that engages in sexual intercourse. Fucking, uses it as an intensive. Fuck up, one who acts carelessly or foolishly.
Yeah, so I think you got it.
Hector, you haven't gotten back to me on my email about the private judging and Violet Brooks's case. Would you like to comment about that? Would you like to comment about the antitrust complaints pending right now?
Excuse me, I'm with my attorney. Can you please leave him alone? Because I'm in the middle of talking.
You're on a public sidewalk, ma'am. Hi, Sean.
Hi.
I'm Susan Bassey.
Oh, hi, Susan.
How are you?
Doing okay.
I want to talk to you about Heather Allen.
I'm not going to talk to you at all. I don't like being recorded.
I know, a lot of us don't like being recorded. You're recorded every time you go in that courthouse. You know that, right?
No comment.
Sean, you've had Heather Allen in 2 of your cases where she had domestic violence cases and she ended up giving custody to the fathers in those cases. We have evidence that Heather Allen
has been forging bills and having taxpayers pay those bills. You have no comment about that? Did you not profit from those cases, including Violet Brooks's case, where you made millions of dollars in that case, Sean? I also sat with you in Kendra Scott's case, and Kendra Scott didn't even get a domestic violence restraining order. Nicole Ford told her client that she could not get a DV against her. You can't get a DV if someone's not willing to pay you enough money for it? Is that how that works, Sean? Sean, you know Hector Marino was engaged with private judging in front of Nat Hales. You didn't post those cases, and people could not know how many cases Nat Hales was hearing in this county. That included with Brad Baugh and Heather Allen. You have no comment on that?
Roddy
Slipped out the back door.
Yeah.
That's a common DA thing.
Yeah.
The procedures for the DA's office allow a DA to talk about a case directly to the media. And we find that they only do it when they have a scripted narrative and a plan. And so she clearly knew she was being watched today, and she didn't want to talk to me. So
I hope you put that in your report.
it will be. Society of Professional Journalists always say you shouldn't be embroiled in the story. And I think I beg to differ. I think that being embroiled has made me
Passionate.
well, and also people.
They used to tell us that too, that be detached. You're a professional. Don't get too close to the client, you know? And 60s just turn that over.
Yeah.
It's like you want to know everything about them. You want to, you know, be them in court and be their spokesperson. You've got to know how they feel about things.
That's right.
But that in the old-fashioned way was just what you said.
I moved out of if you're ready to record, I moved out of the state of California because I couldn't tolerate or deal with what I see going on from day to day in that state. I was born in the state. I was born in Los Angeles. I'm a retired police sergeant. When I went to work back in the mid-60s, the paycheck that I received did not come from the chief of police, the city council, or the mayor. It was paid with the work, blood, sweat, and tears of the people who lived in that city. That's where I got my money. And those were the people I was given God's gift and chance to serve and protect and honor and help. And that's what I did for my career. And I am ashamed of what I see, what law enforcement and the legal system has turned into. It's embarrassing. And I thought about just throwing my badge in the trash and disassociating myself and never saying I'm a retired police sergeant because I'm afraid to say it, and it's embarrassing to me. God bless everyone who listens to this.
Wait a minute. You got a card or something? Let me see if I got this straight. Yeah. Hold on. Filming from a drone, the rodeo, is illegal because we didn't buy tickets? Are you telling me? No, that's what you just said. There's women and children are complaining, and their children that you're taking pictures for the children. But that's not what you said. Tell me who you're.
I have a lot more to show you about what we've been up to in the first few days of 2020. But I've got to get ready for my hearing tomorrow, and it's going to be a busy day because it's all about transparency and accountability. And Judge Geffon is going to have a very busy day because he's going to have to rule on my media request and whether or not I'm going to be permitted to live stream to my YouTube channel while Michele Dauber's subpoenas are being considered. And because the state of Michigan and their Supreme Court just approved cell phones in the court and the courtrooms in that state, it's going to be particularly interesting. And I noted in the article that was sent to me by my favorite civil rights attorney that supporters who ultimately won the favor of the justices in that case argued that increasing access to the court records and reducing the costs for people involved in the court system outweighed the potential for harm and disruption. And I think Bob Tennant would be really proud if we could get that in California as well. And so I'm going to keep doing my job while Bob gets better. And while my favorite investigative reporter's media request was denied in my case tomorrow, mine may be granted because I always believe there's enough room and road to chase some rainbows.